Welcome to IPMWORKS e-learning modules. My name is Nicolas Munier-Jolin, and I am from INRAE in France. This video is part of module 3 on integrated weed management, and from chapter 4 about individual tactics for integrated weed management. And this video is about the tactic related to the choice of cultivars with high competitive ability against weeds. There is a variation of competitive ability against weeds across cultivars. Competitive ability of cultivars not only reduces weed impacts on crop, reduces yield losses of the crop, but competitive ability of cultivars also reduces seed production of weeds and the replenishment of the seed bank. Here I do present a result of a bound experiment in winterweed that was done some years ago at INRAE Dijon. You can see on this figure the weed biomass of weeds under different cultivars of weeds: Apache, Caphorn, Folio, Poisson, Virtuose, and a mixture of 4 wheat cultivars. You can see that the weed biomass under Caphorn is much higher than under Virtuose because Caphorn is much less competitive against weeds as compared to Virtuose or Apache, for example. You can see a picture here of the wheat canopy for Caphorn. You can see that the leaves of Caphorn are quite thin and vertical, whereas, for example, Apache has some larger leaves, more horizontal, so this makes something more competitive against weeds. There have been some networks of experiments to compare competitive ability of wheat cultivars against weeds, made by Arvalis in France. And this made it possible to rank cultivars in terms of competitive ability, expressed as relative yield loss of the cultivar with competing with weeds. You can see, for example, that the Grand Val is very competitive with low yield loss, more competitive than Apache, for example, which is more competitive than Caphorn, and which is itself more competitive as compared to Sankara, for example. And this study tried to identify the main traits of competitive ability of wheat cultivar. The first trait is height. Cultivars with high height are more competitive, but there might be some trade-off with the yielding potential here. Early vigor of wheat seedling is a trait which is important. The ability of cultivars for tillering, the more tillers, the more competitive is the cultivar. The canopy architecture, for example, the shape, the length, and the width of the leaves, as seen before. And there might be also below ground traits. If you want to know more, you can read this article published in Weed Research in 2014. Another possible criteria for the choice of cultivars is the resistance to mechanical weeding. There are currently some breeding programs on cereals to investigate about the resistance of cereal cultivars for mechanical weeding, which is related to the quality of early rooting. So choosing a competitive cultivar might reduce yield losses and reduces seed return to the soil. For the implementation, the benefits of this technique is that there is no specific cost of choosing a competitive cultivar. And the factors that are impairing the implementation of this technique is, for example, the limited choice of competitive cultivars for some crop species. Sometimes it might be difficult to find cultivars that are competitive and resistant to diseases, and with a good yielding potential, and with good technological properties, because there might be some trade-offs between, for example, competitive ability and yielding potential. And last point is that it is nowadays sometimes still difficult to find the information on cultivars' competitive ability against weeds. Thank you very much for your attention.